The tailor came out of his shop at dark, for he did not sleep there at nights. He fastened the windows and locked the door and took away the key. No one lived there at nights but little brown mice, and they ran in and out without any keys. For behind the wooden wainscots of all the old houses in Gloucester, there are little mouse staircases and secret trap doors, and the mice run from house to house through those long, narrow passages. But the tailor came out of his shop and shuffled home through the snow. He lived quite nearby, in College Court, next the doorway to College Green, and although it was not a big house, the tailor was so poor he only rented the kitchen. He lived alone with his cat. It was called Simpkin. Now all day long while the tailor was out at work, Simpkin kept house by himself. He also was fond of the mice, though he gave them no satin for coats. Said the cat when the tailor opened the door. The tailor replied,
Simpkin, we shall make our fortune, but I am worn to a ravelling. Take this groat, which is our last 4 pence, and Simpkin, take a china pipkin. Buy a pennorth of bread, a pennorth of milk, and a pennorth of sausages. And Simpkin, with the last penny of our 4 pence, buy me 1 pennorth of cherry-coloured silk. But do not lose the last penny of the 4 pence, Simpkin, or I am undone and worn to a thread paper, for I have no more twist.
Then Simpkin again said, and he took the groat and the pipkin and went out into the dark. The tailor was very tired and beginning to be ill. He sat down by the hearth and talked to himself about that wonderful coat.
I shall make my fortune. To be cut bias, the mayor of Gloucester is to be married on Christmas Day in the morning, and he hath ordered a coat and an embroidered waistcoat, to be lined with yellow taffeta, and the taffeta sufficeth. There is no more left over in snippets than will serve to make tippets for mice.
Then the tailor started, for suddenly, interrupting him, from the dresser at the other side of the kitchen came a number of little noises. Tip-tap, 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 tip.
Now what can that be?
Said the tailor of Gloucester, jumping up from his chair. The dresser was covered with crockery and pipkins, willow-patterned plates and teacups and mugs. The tailor crossed the kitchen and stood quite still beside the dresser, listening and peering through his spectacles. Again from under a teacup came those funny little noises. Tip-tap, 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 tip.
This is very peculiar,
said the tailor of Gloucester, and he lifted up the teacup which was upside down. Out stepped a little live lady mouse and made a curtsy to the tailor. Then she hopped away down off the dresser and under the wainscot. The tailor sat down again by the fire, warming his poor cold hands and mumbling to himself.
The waistcoat is cut out from peach-coloured satin, tambour stitch and rosebuds and beautiful floss silk. Was I wise to entrust my last 4 pence to Simpkin? 1 buttonholes of cherry-coloured twist.
But all at once from the dresser there came other little noises. Tip-tap, 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 tip.
This is passing extraordinary,
said the tailor of Gloucester, and turned over another teacup, which was upside down. Out stepped a little gentleman mouse and made a bow to the tailor. And then from all over the dresser came a chorus of little tappings, all sounding together and answering one another, like watch beetles in an old worm-eaten window shutter. Tip-tap, 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 tip. And out from under teacups and from under bowls and basins stepped other and more little mice, who hopped away down off the dresser and under the wainscot. The tailor sat down close over the fire, lamenting.
1 buttonholes of cherry-coloured silk, to be finished by noon of Saturday, and this is Tuesday evening. Was it right to let loose those mice? Undoubtedly the property of Simpkin. Alack, I am undone, for I have no more twist.
The little mice came out again and listened to the tailor. They took notice of the pattern of that wonderful coat. They whispered to one another about the taffeta lining and about little mouse tippets. And then, all at once, they all ran away together down the passage behind the wainscot, squeaking and calling to one another as they ran from house to house, and not one mouse was left in the tailor's kitchen when Simpkin came back with a pipkin of milk. Simpkin opened the door and bounced in with an angry "Grr, meow."